Imagine, if you will, the heart of southern Africa in the year 1560. The air is thick with the heat of the summer rains, and the land, a tapestry of gold dust and dense green. Here, in a royal court, pulsating with the rhythm of drums and the quiet power of an ancient lineage, ruled the Mwenemutapa, the master of the plundered lands, the emperor of gold himself, Negomo Mupunzagutu. His was a world of sprawling cattle herds, of earth rich with precious metal, and of traditions as deep as the riverbeds. And into this world, as the sun reached its zenith around Christmas, walked a stranger. His name was Father Gonçalo Silveira, a man not of the earth, but of the spirit, his robes a stark contrast to the vibrant skins and beads of the court. He came bearing not weapons, but letters, recommendations from a distant viceroy across the Indian Ocean. He was introduced by a pragmatic Portuguese trader, the captain of the gates, a man who understood the language of commerce. The Mwenemutapa, a king accustomed to the desires of men, looked upon this pale stranger with a curious, weary eye. To him, Gonçalo was simply another Portuguese. And so he asked the usual questions. How many women did he desire? Was it gold that glittered in his eyes? Land for his god? Or perhaps strong, beautiful cows? But Gonçalo's reply was a whisper that silenced the grand hall. He desired none of these things, he said. His desire was for none, except yourself, O king. The Emperor of Gold was nonplussed, stunned. What kind of man sought a king's soul instead of his treasure? Intrigued, he granted the priest a humble hut within the sacred precincts of his own palace. And there, in that simple dwelling, a quiet revolution began. Gonçalo built a small altar, and upon it he placed a picture, a rendering of a woman of ethereal grace and profound peace. Our Lady. Word of this mysterious image, like a secret on the wind, reached the king. He asked to see it, and Gonçalo came gladly, his heart alight. He spoke to Negomo of a different kind of kingdom, a heavenly one. And so captivated was the king that he allowed this picture of the Madonna to be placed within his own private bedchamber. Then the dreams began. In the silent, watchful hours of the night, the lady in the picture came to life. She spoke to Negomo in a language of dreams, her words a beautiful, unknown melody that echoed in his soul. He dreamt of her not once, but several times, each vision more vivid than the last. Troubled and enchanted, he summoned Gonçalo for an explanation. The priest, a man of unwavering conviction, did not soften his message. He declared bluntly and with fire in his eyes that the Virgin Mary herself was calling. She wished for the king and all his people to become Christian. In doing so, he would become a friend of God and an ally of the great King of Portugal. The words, the dreams, the presence of this strange, ascetic man, it all wove a spell. Negomo was profoundly impressed. He agreed. And so on a day blazing with African sun, the 20th of January, the feast day of a young Portuguese king named Sebastião, a ceremony unfolded that would have been unthinkable weeks before. The young unmarried Mwenemutapa was baptized. The waters of the font washed over him, and he was given a new name, Sebastião. His mother became Maria, his sister, Isabella. The court followed, a wave of conversion that swept through the sub-chiefs until some 300 souls had joined this new faith. Father Gonçalo was revered. He lived on simple millet and vegetables, giving every gift he received to the poor. His life was a testament to his words. But in the shadows, other whispers began to coil through the court.
My king,
Islamic traders, their own influence waning, poured poison into the king's ear. He is no holy man, they hissed. He is a spy, a sorcerer. They pointed to the rebellious sub-ruler of Manica and whispered of betrayal.
Now, Your Majesty.
They twisted the very miracles against him.
The signs are clear.
The water of baptism, the strange words. They are a spell to enslave your people, to rob your country, just as his kind did at Sofala. And the most damning proof, the lady in his dreams. See, they whispered, even your own visions are his witchcraft. The local medicine men, their authority threatened, nodded in grim agreement. The whispers became a chorus of condemnation. The seed of doubt, planted in Ngomo's heart, grew into a dark tree. He agreed. The priest must die. The Portuguese captain, Caiado, pleaded, argued, begged for mere expulsion. But the king's mind was set. When Caiado brought the grim news, Father Gonçalo received it not with fear, but with a heartbreaking resignation. He forgave the king. He forgave the Queen Mother for being deceived. He gathered the few Portuguese around him one last time, administering sacraments and baptizing 50 more souls. A final, defiant act of faith. And then, in the deep, silent heart of the night, within the very palace precincts he had once entered with hope, the shadows closed in. Hands, loyal to the king, found him in his bed. There was no grand spectacle, only a brutal, quiet efficiency. A cord tightened. A life was extinguished. His body, the vessel of so much devotion, was carried away and cast into the cold, flowing waters of the Muzangezi River. A final, fleeting baptism, as his story began its long, echoing journey down the stream of time.